Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Thank you for tuning into today's video. The sixth thing I've learned from doing a PhD so far is that everyone will not like you sometimes for no reason, and you just have to be okay with that. For me, initially whilst doing a PhD, I really struggled with that. It's important for me to feel connected within the PhD circle, and for me to just realize that when I try to talk to some people, they just give me like their body language just looks like they don't want to talk to me, and I don't know what they've heard or whatever. And that I really struggled with, but I've gotten to the point where I'm just like, I've just accepted that some people will not like you for reasons that you'd probably never ever find out, and you just have to be okay with that. For me, I just find that it is important to like just do your best to be at peace with people as far as you do your best, but you're not just like forcing yourself on something or somebody. Just for me, I just try my best to get on with people, and if some people are just stuck on not getting on with me, obviously there's nothing I can do about that. I can only try my best. I can't force people. And I think it's what I just tell myself is that we live in a fallen world, we don't live in heaven. So one of the implications of living in a fallen world is that people are imperfect, you know, and people are going through difficult situations, and maybe that is why they're acting like that. Just come to the realization that it's not about me, and maybe they're going through something challenging in their life, and that's the reason that they're behaving like that. And I think that it is important to be aware of that in life, that some people will just not like you for reasons that you probably never understand, and it is important in those times to just, for me, it's important for me to just confront the reality of that and to not allow that to affect my work. And the way that I deal with that is that I just remind myself of the Bible quotes that says, do not be overcome by evil, but overcome evil with good. And we should not, I think it was Martin Luther King that said this, do not relinquish your privilege and obligation to love. And for me, my duty is to do my best to get on with them, to do my best to try to live at peace with people, but I can't force people's action. So in that case, when I was getting just bad body language from people, I'll just try to stay out of the person's way. But if the person comes in the lab and is trying to be friendly, I'm going to be friendly with them. The Bible also tells us, love your enemies and pray for those who persecute you. And for me, my job is to just, love them, pray for them, but I can't change them essentially. So it's important to just be aware of it, but to not allow that to kind of make you this angry person or somebody that is just forcing themselves to get on with people. And I think that it's just important to recognize that. But then I also need to say that, like, in that kind of situation, it can get toxic, and if that is something that is affecting you, I think that it is important to distance yourself from anyone that is just causing you discomfort. If it's possible, try to distance yourself if it's affecting you. But I think that for me as a Christian, how I deal with those situations is what the Bible advises, which is love your enemies, pray for those who persecute you, do not be overcome by evil, but overcome evil with good, and to just continue to do my best, what is best within my power to get on with them, but not like not doing something I'm not comfortable with just so that people like me, because obviously it's not about you. It's not about you at the end of the day. The seventh thing that I have learned from doing a PhD so far is that it is important to exercise, to eat well, to take a break or to slow down if you need to, and to also have a day off where you just don't do work at all. And I think that all these things are things that can actually facilitate work. These are the things that actually facilitate my PhD. So what I do for exercise is I have a abs roller in my room. I use that, and I also go for very, very long walks, and this really helps me to stay sane. It helps me process my emotions, to reflect on my day, to be able to just come back stronger, confront the difficult situations and develop means of coping with them eating well, trying to, you know, have a day off where you just don't do work at all. And I think that all these things are things that can actually facilitate productivity, is by taking a step back and actually reflecting and just relaxing and doing things that are outside of work. I think that these things are things that can actually help, and these are the things that I do that helps me to be just sane while doing a PhD. Okay, and the eighth point is to communicate. Communication is something that is imperative when it comes to like just being productive, and some of the things that I have found that is very, very important. So it's important to be able to communicate with supervisors, communicate clearly, communicate when you're having issues, communicate early, not just like last minute, to be able to communicate each step of the way, just so that they're in the loop, and if there is anything that they can do to help, they can also help. And I think that communication also goes with your colleagues as well. I think that one of the things I found with communication is that a problem that would take me maybe like a week to resolve, I can just ask somebody in the labs, and within 5 minutes the problem is resolved. So this is where communication comes in, and it's very, very important. It's important to just be open and honest, like straight on, confront your feelings. This is so important. It's so important to like tell yourself the truth and work on it as soon as you can, literally like immediately. And also, like, I think that communication is, I think I can't say talk about communication without talking about being friendly. And again, like I said, doing your best to get on with people, because these are the people that would probably be able to help you when you're having problems later on with your PhD, and to just like connect and just have a nice experience altogether. The nice thing that I've learned from doing a PhD so far is that it is so important to enjoy the process, to celebrate all the little victories that literally like accumulate, and you know, at the end of the day is what would make the big victories. For me, I celebrate everything. If I was able to even like put PVS, like a chemical, in like 100 bottles, I'm like, oh, I've done something nice today. I can treat myself to something nice. You know, I think it's not like, it's so important to enjoy the process, because at the end of the day, a PhD is a marathon. It's not a sprint. So it's something that you just have to like settle into, and to just embrace the whole process. Because I just feel like I'm not just doing PhD for somebody, I'm doing it for myself. I personalize it, I relate it to something that is meaningful to me. And just like the same way you watch a child grow, I see as like, you know, every time I make small progress with my PhD, I relate that with like little growth like a child. And anyone that knows anything about raising a child know that it is very challenging. And so when things get difficult with my PhD, I just remind myself, well, it is supposed to be challenging. So like, maybe when it's challenging, you know that you're on the right track, because a PhD is actually supposed to be challenging. A PhD, that's the reason it's why it's called a PhD. And that's the reason you get the recognition and the kind of like applaud at the end of it, is because of the challenging process. So it's important to just bear all this in mind when things get difficult, and to always remind yourself of why you chose to do a PhD. For me, I chose to do a PhD because I enjoyed studying in my undergrad, and I thought that this was another opportunity for me to continue learning, because I actually, well, first of all, I couldn't get a job, and secondly, I wasn't really sure what I want to do with my life. So a PhD is just like a way of me realizing my, like discovering myself, discovering what I like to do, discovering what I want to do with my life. And you know, I feel like I'm in a better position where I know what I want to do with my life going forward. But I'm also enjoying my PhD, and it's something that, you know, I'm definitely grateful that I chose to do. So I think that these are all the things that are very, very important to bear in mind. And these are some of the life lessons that I've learned. If you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to like this video, comment. I want to know what you think about it. Subscribe to my channel, and I hope to see you in my next video. Lots of love. Bye.